When a cell tower company comes knocking with a lease offer, it can feel like a massive opportunity. And it is, but it's also a really high stakes game. So today, we're going to break down exactly how to build the expert team you need to make sure you come out on top.
So, imagine this. That letter or that phone call finally arrives. A huge wireless company wants to build a tower on your property, and they're talking about paying you for it. It feels like you've just hit the jackpot, right? But just hang on a second. Before you do anything, and I mean anything, even before you call that family lawyer you've trusted for years, you have to understand something critical. That very first, most logical step you're thinking about, it could literally end up costing you a fortune over the life of this lease. To get why that is, we first have to pull back the curtain and look at the reality of this situation. This is not a negotiation between equals, not even close. It's an incredibly uneven playing field, and honestly, the game is kind of rigged from the start. I mean, just think about it for a second. On one side of the table, you have a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And on the other side, well, there's you. They do this all day, every single day. They have entire departments whose only job is to get the best possible terms. For them, not for you. This right here, this lays it all out. The tower companies, they show up with teams of expert negotiators, specialized industry lawyers, and just mountains of data on what every single square foot of land is worth. And on your side of the table, it's just you. It's like you're bringing a pocket knife to a laser-guided missile fight. So, naturally, your first instinct is to try and level that playing field by calling your lawyer. And that makes perfect sense. But this leads us to what we call the lawyer myth, this idea that any good attorney can handle this. And you know what? That's a really dangerous assumption. This quote gets right to the heart of it. Look, your local real estate lawyer is probably fantastic for closing on a house or handling a standard commercial lease. But a cell tower agreement? It is a completely different beast. It's a hyper-specialized mix of telecom law and real estate. So, why did they fall short? Well, they probably have zero experience with things like radio frequency design or the complicated economics of rent escalators. They just don't know which clauses are absolute deal breakers for the carriers and which ones are just bluffs. And here's the real risk. A non-specialist can end up arguing over all the wrong points, stalling or even killing a fantastic opportunity, all while leaving the most important money-making terms on the table. So if a general lawyer isn't the first person you should call, then who is? This is where the real expert for this job comes into play. The specialized wireless consultant. Think of them as your secret weapon. A wireless consultant is your economic strategist. Their entire world revolves around one thing: knowing what your site is truly worth to that carrier. They get the market, they get the technology, they understand the carrier's business model inside and out, and their whole job is to fight for your financial interests. So how do they do it? It's pretty straightforward. First, they analyze the true market value of your property based on its location, the network's needs, and any other site options they have. Then, they go to work optimizing all the economic terms. We're talking rent, escalators, maybe even revenue sharing. And finally, they negotiate these crucial protections for you as the landlord that a general lawyer would never even think to ask for. And the results? They really do speak for themselves. Just one firm, sell-side appraiser, has secured over $10 million in extra value for landlords just since 2017. That is money that would have been completely left on the table otherwise, and it's just a powerful example of what that specialized expertise can actually do for you. Now, this does not mean lawyers are useless, not at all. The key isn't choosing a consultant or a lawyer. It's about building the right team and, crucially, using them in the right order. Here's the ideal strategy. It's a partnership. The wireless consultant leads the charge on the business and the economic negotiations. They go in and maximize the value of the deal. Then, once that's done, a specialized telecom attorney comes in to safeguard all of your legal interests. The roles are crystal clear and totally different. Your consultant is your main strategist. They're focused on the money, the rent, the market value. The telecom attorney is your legal backstop, making sure all the language is ironclad and that your property rights are protected. Two very different but equally vital roles. And believe me, you absolutely need that specialized attorney in certain situations. If you're dealing with really complex property easements, or you're facing legal disputes, or maybe you're managing multiple sites, their expertise is completely non-negotiable. They're the ones who protect you from those long-term legal nightmares. Okay, so let's bring this all together. Let's map out your path to getting a much, much better deal. It really all boils down to this simple truth. The tower companies have the knowledge, and that's what gives them all the power in these negotiations. By bringing in your own experts, you balance the scales. you arm yourself with the exact same level of industry knowledge that they have. If you take only one single thing away from this explainer, let it be this. Do not sign anything from a tower company until you have an expert on your side of the table. Your very first call shouldn't be to a general lawyer, it should be to a specialized wireless consultant. Look, a cell tower lease isn't a short-term thing. It's a contract that can last for 30, 40, even 50 years. It will probably outlive you. This is not a simple rental agreement. It's a multi-decade financial decision impacting one of your most valuable assets. So the final question you have to ask yourself is, are you ready to give it the expert protection it truly deserves? Arming yourself with information and expert advice is the key to protecting your rights. As the folks at CSA always say, when you know more, you get more. Your next step is to reach out. You can visit them online at cellsiteappraiser.com or just give them a call. Thanks for tuning into this explainer. And always remember, when you know more, you get more. It's probably a good time to make that call.